We also want to just urge you, the crews have done a really good job staying safe out there this week, and they have been working really today. Just if you could stay back from those crews and allow them to work. They are trying to wrap up restoration as quickly as possible. So with that, I'm going to introduce our president of Ohio for FirstEnergy. His name's Torrence Hinton, and his name, you can, for spelling, is Torrenhinton. Torrence?
Thank you, Hannah. Can everyone hear me fine? All right, good morning. Thank you for being here and for allowing us to provide this important update. I want to start my remarks by thanking the City of Cleveland for hosting us here at the Zelma Watson George Recreation Center, and to all of you for joining us again here today. We are eager to share the latest restoration updates and highlight additional efforts to support customers and communities through this extremely difficult time. Thanks to the around-the-clock hard work by more than 7,500 storm responders, nearly all of our customers will have power restored much sooner than the original global estimate time that we provided last week of Wednesday, August 14th. As of 9:30 a.m. this morning, power has been restored to nearly 98% of illuminating company customers, with less than 7,000 remaining without service. Most of our customers who are currently without service will have their power restored by 11 p.m. tonight. A small number of customers in areas with more extensive damage may experience restoration times that extend further into this week. Those customers will have individual restoration times assigned to their location to help them plan and make arrangements for the days ahead. Customers can view the current individual estimated restoration time for their particular outage by logging into their account at www.firstenergycorp.com or by texting STAT to 544487 if they are registered for text alerts or viewing the outage map. Again, that's by texting STAT to 544487. We understand that customers who remain without power are frustrated and they are tired. We won't let up our efforts to restore service until every customer impacted by this storm have had their power restored to their home or to their business. Unfortunately, what Mother Nature can destroy in mere minutes, often takes people much longer to rebuild. Just to give you a sense and an idea of the extent of damage that we've encountered as a result of the storm, our crews have repaired or replaced about 1,800 cross arms, more than 1,000 cutouts, 400 poles, almost 200 transformers, and about 190,000 feet of wire and cable. For your reference, that's enough wire and cable to cover 526 football fields if laid end to end. As crews continue to work 24/7 to restore service, we are still partnering with Giant Eagle, as well as community service centers like this one here to help provide free water and ice to customers without power. Customers who remain without power can pick up a bag of ice and 2 gallons of water free of charge at several Giant Eagle locations across the region while supplies last. Customers do not need to show their bill or any other documentation to obtain this free water and free ice. In addition, we are also offering ice and water at several community centers within the Cleveland city limits and surrounding communities. We really appreciate the City of Cleveland and all of the municipalities for everything they've done to help us coordinate these efforts for our customers. Customers can access a list of participating locations by clicking the banner at FirstEnergy's homepage. I want to share a few safety reminders. With some cell phone service still not fully available, we understand our customers might be inclined to approach our crews with questions. For everyone's safety, Please let our crews do their jobs and stay away from their work zone. It's a very hazardous job that they perform, and many of them are working on very long hours, or working very long hours while their families are home without power themselves. Trust me, our crews want to make sure that we wrap up this effort strong and as quickly as possible. I also urge everyone to stay clear of down lines or other potential hazards which may become energized or may be energized at any time. Safety continues to be our very first and number one priority, both for our workers as well as for the public. Our effort is not successful unless everyone gets their power restored and there are no injuries or incidents as a result of this restoration effort, and we can get all of our workers back home to their families safely. Before we close and open it up to questions to the media, I did want to take a moment to offer City Council President Blaine Griffin an opportunity for remarks. So if you would join me, President Griffin, at the stage and the podium, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hinton. Last week was a very traumatic experience for the entire city of Cleveland. Cleveland City Council feels your pain. We understand that this was one of the most traumatic events in our city's history, and we definitely want to continue to work with FirstEnergy as well as our electric provider, CPP, to make sure that we have a better process to communicate and mitigate any unintentional impacts in the future whenever we have a storm like this in the future. I'd like to thank FirstEnergy for coming today to make sure that the community has an opportunity to get the things that they need in order to try to weather this storm. I still have across the city some patchwork of people that are without power. In times like this, it's important that we collaborate between government and our private sector partners, but it's also important for our community to stick together and work together in order to make sure that your neighbors are okay, to make sure that we have seniors that are looked after, to make sure that if someone cannot get up here to get ice, that you help. This is a time when the spirit of Cleveland, the true spirit of Cleveland, comes through. We really experienced something the likes of that none of us have ever seen before. If talking to Mr. Hinton and others, we've never seen a storm like this since maybe Sandy in the early 2012 or something like that, or 1963. So this is something that is new, something that we're all going to have to make sure that we get together and debrief after this is all over to make sure that we all combine with each other to serve our community the best way that we can. I would tell you that I want to thank the workers that worked an enormous amount of time in dangerous conditions to make sure that they got our community up and powered. And I want to thank our community for being patient, for being safe, but once again for showing the true spirit of Cleveland and looking after each other. Council members have been out there doing everything from riding the neighborhood to clearing tree limbs and doing whatever we can, because as our title is Cleveland City Council, is to go out there and make sure that the community is okay. I want to tell everyone we're going to get through this. The most important thing is for all of us to make sure that all of our neighbors are restored and that we look at better ways to make sure that all of us communicate with the public whenever we have a crisis of this magnitude again. I want to thank FirstEnergy once again for having the forestep and the foresight to come out here and make sure that our community has ice and water. We will continue to make sure we get that message out. And once again, right now, the most important thing is for us to make sure that every customer in this city has their power restored and that we mitigate any personal crisis that they're dealing with, whether they be elderly, children, or families. And then we will get together and debrief and figure out how we can work in a public-private partnership in order to make sure that we can mitigate any damages and try to have a smooth response whenever we deal with these kind of tragedies again. On behalf of all of Cleveland City Council, I want to thank you all for coming out today, because we really love our community, and our community just experienced one of the traumatic experiences that we've ever seen. Thank you so much.
So again, President Griffin, I just want to thank you. Thank you for offering your remarks, and really our sincere gratitude to you, to the council, to the city of Cleveland, and we look forward to continuing our partnership to we make improvements in communication and continue to do what we can if we were to experience an event of this nature, and I will remind you, a very historic event from a storm and power outage perspective. Again, I know Ohio is the heart of it all, and I believe we've witnessed that in action over this last week. We care about one another, we look out for our neighbors, and we step up when life gets tough. Again, to the elected officials helping their communities by establishing cooling and charging centers, I say thank you. To the local food banks, community-based pantries, to the restaurant owners helping distressed families find comfort and sustenance, I say thank you. We're proud to join these efforts through a generous donation from the FirstEnergy Foundation, which bring into action to help the Greater Cleveland Food Bank provide shelf-stable meals to those most in need. To the grocery stores, to the cities, to the municipalities for helping us distribute ice and water to our customers and providing locations like we have here at the Zelma Watson George Recreation Center, I say thank you. To our customers, while FirstEnergy employees were working around the clock in your neighborhoods and behind the scenes to restore power as quickly and safely as possible, we saw your goodness abound. Thank you for treating our crews with kindness and respect. You offered snacks, drinks, and so many words of encouragement to help them through their 16-hour work shifts. Thank you for opening your hearts and your homes to your neighbors. You cooked and delivered hot meals, created makeshift group workstations at dining room tables, and offered porch outlets and extension cords for anyone needing a phone charge. Thank you for reminding us all that where there's a will, there's a way. You made bath time fun for kids with glow sticks, helped out-of-town relatives check on loved ones, and pooled resources to help our senior citizens with less access to community resources. And of course, to the thousands of FirstEnergy employees, contractors, and neighboring utilities representing 17 different states in all who have worked tirelessly to turn the lights back on in Northeast Ohio. We know you signed up for this job, and we're proud of the work that you do, but a much-deserved rest is just around the bend. I also want to express my thanks and appreciation to Governor DeWine. His recognition for the financial and physical and emotional toll this historic storm has taken on Northeast Ohio. While I do not have any details beyond what the state has already released thus far, we encourage our customers to stay tuned for additional assistance that might become available in the weeks ahead. I encourage everyone to follow our social media channels on Facebook and on X to get the most up-to-date information on outages and important safety information, as well as other information about resources available to them within their communities. You can follow us on X at the Illuminating CO and on Facebook at www.facebook.com/illuminatingco. Thanks again to everyone for being here today. We applaud the community's resilience and appreciation for their ongoing patience and support. Together we will get through this event safely and successfully. I will now open it up for any questions. Yeah, so the question was, what does it mean exactly for a state of emergency? And my understanding is there's additional resources that could become available. I'd encourage folks to work with the governor's office and just determine what that may mean. I will tell you very early on, the governor's office reached out to us to see what they can do to help. And we were working with them to determine whether or not we needed any of their help. But with, again, more than 7,000 people coming into the state to assist, I'm not aware of us indicating that we needed help from the state. However, we are extremely appreciative for the governor and his team making that offer. Unless the President Council Griffin has any additional comments, I would encourage folks to work with the state to understand what that may mean today or what may be coming in terms of relief.
Sure. And Mr. did a great job of explaining it. More resources. We still have a lot of downed trees. We still have areas that are impassable. We have a lot of homes that are damaged. When something is declared a state of emergency, it means it allows us to pursue other financial opportunities, whether it be insurance, whether it be replacement of food, whether it be all of the emergency wraparound services that this community would need in order to get back on its feet. And that's what this does. And the governor did that, and we're very appreciative that the governor made that call. Those are things that we're communicating regularly with our public. I would tell you to look at the city's website. I think the administration has done a great job of really uploading everything on 311. I would encourage everybody to call 311 to really see how they can qualify for those things, and also use 211, which is the United Way first call for help, which allows you to look at what other services that you have. There's a lot of things that the state provides, like SNAP benefits and other things. So we have a lot of people whose food has gone bad. And some people may have homeowners insurance, or they may not have homeowners insurance, or they may have renters insurance and may not have renters insurance. Therefore, by having a state of emergency, a lot of the emergency food supplement programs that the governor just named a state of emergency, they will be able to, in a more efficient way, be able to get some of those items replaced and be able to get support.
I'm just curious again, because there were people wondering why it was Saturday. Does that impact at all? And why did your governor waited until Saturday to make that decision? I just wanted to get it from your guys.
Yeah, I don't believe I can answer that question. I would encourage you to follow up with the state.
The only thing that I will tell you is that the emergency declaration has to be made by the county. The county is the regional planning unit for the state government, so therefore they took their direction from the county. Part of the problem with this storm is that different areas got hit different ways, and there wasn't always, what happened in West Park may not have happened in Mount Pleasant. What happened in Collinwood may not have happened in other areas. So because of that, I don't think everybody always knew the extent of it, and it was kind of a bifurcated process. But once the county got wind of how much damage, and then I want to commend our state legislators, who our local state delegation, who really urged the governor to do this as well. But the county actually has the official role to create a state of emergency. Those are things that we're going to look at when we debrief, because it may need to be the city of Cleveland that declares a state of emergency whenever something like this happens. But the county is where a lot of those resources that we're talking about, through SNAP benefits, through TANF benefits, through loss recovery, being able to make sure that the insurance market understands that there was a disaster that took place here, that it is officially recognized. Those are things that have to come through our regional planning unit to the state.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, obviously right now there's no electricity flowing, so there's no one's collecting a bill at this point. So once the power is restored, then and the meters are safe, the process will restart essentially. Yes.
So as FirstEnergy crosses the finish line here, what would you say is the biggest lessons learned or biggest takeaways from this whole series?
Yeah, as President Griffin indicated, we're still very focused on getting all of our customers restored. I will tell you, in the moment here, at least speaking on behalf of FirstEnergy, there were things that we put in place that we ended up tweaking and enhancing so that we can do better but continue to work safely. We will have an opportunity once this incident is fully complete to do that debrief and really learn those lessons so that 30 years from now, when the next historic storm hits for FirstEnergy, we'll be even better prepared. Thank you.
I know you haven't been on the job long, but we have the date, that Wednesday date that everyone looked at. What do you think what sped up the process to get it to Monday? What do you think was the difference that really changed that global estimation that you're talking about?
Yeah, it was really teamwork. So that date that we put out, as a reminder, I believe we put that out on Wednesday, but someone can fact check me at some point. And you got to remember, we were early on. and there were resources we were counting on that had not yet made it to our property. So that date was very dependent on resources coming. And then once those resources came, we were able to collaborate and see how we were operating. I give a lot of credit to my team. I would dare say I had the easy job being before you and taking some of your challenging questions. They're doing the hard work. And every single day, they looked at how can we do better than what we did yesterday. And it was that kind of attitude and mentality that allowed us to pull in or pull ahead that original Wednesday date. As time went on, as we were able to get people more out there and assess the actual damage, that is really what allowed us to get a better sense of what we needed to do. And then there were a lot of people, our FirstEnergy crews especially, but again, people from out of state who came in or were willing to help. And it took collaboration and teamwork ultimately that got us to this point. Yeah, I will say to any resident right now who continues to have their power not restored, please be patient with us. We are working hard. We are working tirelessly. We're still right now working 16-hour shifts to get them restored. Unfortunately, there may be some unique cases where it's going to take us to get to individual homes to understand what the issue may be and what the repair need will be, but we will do that and we'll get that done. I'll just continue to ask for patience as we work through this, continue to encourage them to reach out for assistance if that is needed, but we are working tirelessly still to make sure that 100% of our customers impacted by this storm will have their service restored as quickly as possible. We're committed to that. If there's no other questions, I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you getting information out to our customers. Again, follow up by sharing with them the information regarding our website so they can check on their specific restoration times. I want to also thank President Council Griffin again. I really appreciate your support and us being here. We're going to get through this, and we'll learn our lessons and continue to collaborate with the city and the council. Thank you all. Have a safe day.
Thank you to the media. Thank you to the media for really getting the message out. You guys really did a great job of really making sure that our public was educated and weathered this storm. So thank you to you guys.
Yes, thank you, media.